Hi everyone, I'm going to take a look at the two match pass players today. We've got Jérémy Doku in the value match pass and we've got Denis Zakaria in the premium. So, value match pass with Doku, it costs 500 coins unless it's the first time we bought a match pass, in which case it'll be half price, so 250 coins. You get 200 coins within the rewards, so assuming you're paying full price at 500, that means in effect, it will cost you 300 coins. Then the premium match pass, Denis Zakaria, standard price is 1,000 coins. Again, if it's your first time purchasing it, it'll be half price, so that'll be 500. You get 300 coins back as part of the rewards. So in effect, at full price, it will cost you 700 coins. So let's have a look at how good these two players are. We'll start with Doku. So Jérémy Doku, it's fairly straightforward what type of player this is. You see positionally, he can play as a forward, wide left or wide right, and that's about it. He's very one-footed. He's right-footed. Doesn't have much of a left foot, and he doesn't have outside curler either. So keep that in mind. Looking down at the skill set there, what he basically has is a whole load of tricks and skills for just being great on the ball. For all the dribble merchants, the guys who love using the skill moves, this guy looks like a lot of fun. And when you look at the attributes on the auto allocation, what stands out is pretty obvious. On the ball, 90, 91, 90. Speed, 91, 96. 91 balance. This guy is absolutely going to be crazy on the ball. Crazy pace, crazy balance, ball control, dribbling, type possession, all 90 plus. When it comes to dribbling with this guy, he's going to be pretty wild, but the downside is end product, and you get that a lot with these types of wide forward. Low pass 70, and then he's below 70 for lofted pass and finishing. And as you saw with his skill set, there are no skills to really give him any end product. So not to put a downer on him, but you're going to have to be really careful when it comes to passing and shooting with this guy. Don't be trying Hollywood through passes from about 40 yards away. Don't be trying to shoot from outside the box and expect it to go flying in the top corner. You're going to have to be very careful and keep it simple when it comes to passing and shooting. So obviously with his qualities, you'll be able to dribble around defenders and get in behind, but just make sure when it comes to releasing the ball that you restrict it to relatively straightforward passes to other players in the box and straightforward finishes, because if you ask too much of him, you are going to come up short. But like I say, with the strengths he's got, all those 90 plus attributes, the pace and dribbling and balance, he looks like he'd be crazy on the ball. In terms of the allocation of training points, if you wanted to get more product on him, you could maybe say if you take 4 off dribbling there, you could say 1 off, maybe 2 off dexterity, 1 off speed. He's still got 90 speed. What can we do there? You get a finishing up to 70. We get both these up to 8, yes, and we got another 4 left over. I'd put the 4 on physical maybes. You could maybe do that. So then the dribbling and everything's, on the ball he's not quite so great, but he's still well into the 80s. And he's still got 90 plus on his pace and balance 89, but that physical gets nudged up to 70. And the passing and finishing is just that little bit better. They're still not great though. So if they're still not going to be great, I think a lot of people would say, well, you might as well just go back to the auto allocation and give them all those 90 plus attributes. I could understand if you want to do that, but yeah, either way, it's just a question of managing the weaknesses. If he's your type of player and if you can manage those weaknesses, he looks like he could be a really, really fun player to pick up. So next up from the premium match pass, Denis Zakaria. So this guy's quite popular. A lot of guys like him. He gets compared quite a bit to Vieira. He gets talked about as a kind of budget Vieira, which is maybe a lazy comparison, but it's understandable because he's got a similar physique, similar strengths. He's an anchor man. So if you're playing defensive midfield, he's going to stay back. He's going to sit in front of the defense and protect him. And you're going to need him to just sit there because when you look at the attributes, the one weakness there, his stamina is really bad. That's the one real concern. You've got to be very careful with that. So what I would say to everyone using him as a defensive midfielder or even centre midfielder, you're going to need to put the defensive instruction on him. Just tell him to sit back, don't get forward, don't make attacking runs, just stay there and don't get tired because that stamina is going to run down pretty quick. But outside of that, speed at 88 for a big physical guy in defensive midfield, that's really high speed. Acceleration's decent. Physical contact's very high. Like I say, he's a big, strong guy. Not the best balance, but you expect that for someone with his physique. Defensive attributes, very strong. Mega aggressive, 99 aggression. He's going to be a nightmare for attackers when you're trying to get the ball off him, especially with that physical contact. Down the left is where I'm a little bit concerned. It's not disastrously low, but I like to be 80 plus in all these because I don't like the idea of a defensive midfielder in that area in front of my defence taking heavy touches or playing sloppy passes. You don't want to give the ball away in that area. So personally, I would look at maybe doing a bit of a rebuild here. I would maybe just see if I can take a bit off his defensives, just down to maybe all the way down to 8 there. Physical contact, just take a couple off there because it's already pretty high. Keep his jumping at 70. Then you can get the passing up. Just nudge these up to the 80s. I would maybe do that, and then what we got left, we can get his balance up there, 70. And then another one on defending, and then one more aerial. I'd maybe do that. It's not a massive change, but like I say, for me personally, I like these to be 80 plus, so he's a bit more comfortable on the ball. You could maybe work on that stamina actually as well. I wonder if we get that stamina up to 80 would be nice. Let's just see if we can do that. So maybe we take some of that away. I guess it's up to there. And maybe take more of dexterity there. You could maybe do that and get stamina up to the 80 mark. Yeah, I think personally I'd be tempted to do that actually. So he's still got crazy pace for a big, strong defensive midfielder. I don't think I've seen a player of that type with speed that high. Got really high speed. Good kicking power. Still very strong physically. Like I say, that stamina up to the 80 mark. It's still a bit on the low side. So I would still be putting the defensive instruction on him. But at least it's up to 80 now, so it'll be a bit better. Defensive attributes still pretty good, still mega aggressive. And then obviously 80 plus all down the left-hand side. When we look down at his skill set here, he's got long-range shooting, rising shots, first-time shot. All nice, really, if you're getting forward with him, but you're probably not going to be getting forward with him. And finishing only 61, I don't think you're going to really be doing much shooting with him, and I don't think it's going to really help much. But the important ones, he's got heading, one-touch pass, weighted pass, so he's got nice passing, even if his low pass attribute isn't the highest. These skills will help. But then, crucially, man marking, interception, fighting spirit, which will help with the stamina, and blocker as well. So he's actually got a really strong selection of skills for a defensive midfielder. Defensive skills there. You can use him as a centre midfielder. He's got centre midfield. If you play in centre midfield, that anchorman playing style will not be active. So he will roam forward a bit more, which, you know, is good for a centre midfielder. But at the same time, stamina, he will get tired quickly. If you see what the auto allocation is for a centre midfielder, comes out pretty decent. Again, the stamina comes out pretty low, so I would maybe take a couple off the passing, maybe a couple off the dribbling. You're not going to be dribbling around players much with this guy. I think you're going to just keep it simple, get the ball, pick out a teammate, and so on. Take one off the defensives, and there you can get stamina up to 80. Be nice if you can maybe just get the balance up. You could take a few more off the defending if you're going to be playing further up the pitch. There you can get his balance up to 70. There's different ways you could tweak it. He certainly, when you look at the skills, with one touch pass, weighted pass, he should have a fairly nice pass on him. And obviously he's got the shooting skills, which I don't think will make too much difference with his finishing attribute, but you never know, especially if you use manual shooting like I do. He could have a good shot on him. Whichever way you build him, the heading skill, physical contact being pretty high. He's 6'3". I think he'll actually be decent in the air, even if the jumping is not too great. I think in midfield areas he'll win quite a lot of headers. But yeah, we'll just finish up by going back to the auto allocation. I think that's probably roughly what most people will do with him. I think on the whole, this guy is a really, really strong defensive midfielder. The stamina's a big concern, but the speed's a real bonus. I think that's great. He's got a good skill set. And personally, I'm going to be getting the premium match pass to get this guy. I like the look of him. I'm going to be picking him up. Remember, we've got it's free to retrain players still. They extended that until I think the end of November, so you could pick this guy up and try a few different training builds on him. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to look forward to doing that because I like the look of him. I'm going to be picking him up. So yeah, there you go. I think that's two very interesting players. Depends what type of player you like, but both of them well worth picking up in my opinion if they suit the way you play, if they're your type of player. Some good value players you could pick up with either of the match passes. So hope you found that useful. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you next time.